Hey, 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 my lovelies. How are you guys doing? Hopefully super de-duper. My name is Rabbit, and thank you for joining me for episode number 27 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy I via the lens of Final Fantasy Origins. In our previous episode, we parted ways in town at Crescent Lake because I wanted to heal us up, sell all of the extra mundane crud that we had kind of picked up while we were wrapping up exploring I keep wanting to call it like Gulg Volcano or Gurgle Volcano, but Mount Gulg, whatever this version of Final Fantasy calls it, we were able to successfully tackle another boss, and we illuminated a brand new crystal. So we are 2 for 2, 50% of the way through our journey, which sadly means we're 50% done with this adventure as a whole. But do not despair, my friends, because there are many more video games for us to tackle once this one concludes. But let's hold off on being sad about any of that. Let's go ahead and hop in. We've got a brand new area to go ahead and investigate. I think I'm going to take us next to, I think it was called Ice Cave. Who knows what version, or what name, I guess I should say, this version of the game calls that specific area, but that is where we are going to head towards. So let's hop into gameplay. Not waste too much of our in-game clock on my intro here. I do want to go ahead and just show you guys where we're at, just as a quick recap. I did take a few hours to settle some of the work situation that was going on and take care of a few things from home. So I don't exactly remember what I showed you guys earlier this morning when we parted ways. So take a second, get caught up to speed with where our stats are at, with where our XP is at. I do know that Rohit is a little teeny tiny bit behind, having died in that encounter with Merilith is what she's called in this game. Don't remember what her original name was, and by original I mean, of course, the North American version. I don't know what her name was in the Japanese version, but in the North American release on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, she was not called Merilith, so whatever her name was. She ended up kicking Rohit's buns, but that is okay. So Tyrone is looking like he's going to hit level 23 pretty soon, and will be joining Burl, who single-handedly dragged us across the finish line in that encounter. So all the props, all the respect to Burl. I restocked on potions, which we desperately needed. Oh, I forgot to sell this flippin' mithril axe. I apologize, you guys. Let's hop in and just sell that just quickly. Super duper quickly, just so it's not sitting there. I'm holding on to the gloves, I believe, because we can utilize them later on when Rohit is able to upgrade his class. I think we did look at that, didn't we? I want to say we did, but if we didn't, let me not be a liar. We're looking at it now, just so I can strike that off my list. We do see that red wizards have access to the mithril gloves. He's just an ordinary red mage, but that will not be the case for long. So stay tuned. We will follow up on the conversation regarding what we need to do to upgrade our red mage, our monk, our white mage, and our black mage to all of their respective follow-up classes, or more powerful, potent classes, if you want to refer to it as such. Okay, now we are ready to move forward into the world and tackle our next objective, which will be Ice Cave. So this is another dungeon that I just want us to head into. I've noted this a few times, but again, I'm sure that with me juggling 2 games at once, a lot of the information is a little bit scattered that I'm presenting to you. So please forgive me for those of you that are binge watching this in one go, you know, a year or 2 down the road. Once I've completed the LP, you're probably like, Rabbit, you just said that 15 episodes ago. But for those who are watching this in real time, it might be a minute before the information rolls out to you. I know, especially now, just with everything going on in my life, I've been utter trash the last couple of months with sticking to a normal upload schedule and routine. I have been at least trying to get 1 video up per week, but obviously that is not ideal. I would like to be able to eventually return to a schedule where I was getting videos up at least every other day. So then, you know, some weeks you were getting 3 episodes, some weeks 4. But you know what? If I can get at least 1 to 2, that's good, because I got a lot of crap going on in my life right now. It's been nutso, butso. I think you guys know. If not, I'm gonna say it again. I bought a house. I semi-recently closed, and that entire process was absolute nightmare. One thing I will say, I know this has nothing to do with the game, but that's okay because we're fighting old school foes that have nothing on us. Even Melvin is like, what are you guys even trying to do? You're tickling me to death? This is nothing. So we don't need to worry about these encounters. I'm just going to blubber on for a quick moment and say, I made the mistake for my mortgage of moving forward with a really large corporate bank. I'm not going to state the name because I know some people might really love this bank. I'll even say, for the longest time, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use DO1 just to get out a little bit of damage, and it should be fine. But I loved this bank. I started working when I was 15 in high school. I got a worker's permit as well as like a driver's permit early, and I got a job. 15 years old, I was hustling, doing what I needed to do to, start paying my bills and amassing savings so that I could be an independent adult as soon as possible. So I opened a bank account when I was 16. So this was years and years ago, you guys. I guess what? I was 16 in 2005 to 2005, I think is when I opened up this bank account. And it was with the corporate bank. It was one of the more well-known banks in the town where Andrew and I went to high school. My husband and I are high school sweethearts, and we've been together since we were 15. So, I was just a kid. I opened up a bank because I got my first job, and I was saving up to get a car and had stuff I wanted to buy and things I wanted to do. 15-year-olds don't know, to go with credit unions or smaller, more localized banks that aren't going to screw you over when it comes to big ticket items, I guess, that you're going to need to eventually maybe pursue loans for, or, whatever you're wanting to do. So I opened this bank, let's just say it was 2006, because I don't quite remember. I think it was 2005 when I opened my bank account, but who knows? 2005, 2006. And I had great experiences with this bank. Even when my dad passed away, he had for some reason, 2 different bank accounts, and one of his accounts was with this bank as well. And when he passed away, I was the executor of his estate as the oldest living child, because my older brother passed away a few years ago. I know, my life is a mess. So many family members passing away early. Just really sad, but I'm blessed. I'm still standing. I'm in good health. I can't complain about a thing, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like my life has been terrible. But certainly have lost a lot of people early, which has made things difficult. But one thing that was not difficult was dealing with this particular bank when my dad passed away and I needed to close out his bank account. And there wasn't a ton of money in that account. It was like his secondary account. I don't know if he used it just for bills or, what the heck is going on with this port? I just need, hold on, you guys. I need to access a map. I think this is where, maybe it's fine because I docked at the other port and I'm too busy talking and not paying attention to what's going on. Hold on. I'll finish my conversation on the bank here in just a second. Let's kill these ogres. Let me take a look at the map and make sure I know exactly what I'm doing, because muscle memory is not serving me well right now as I'm kind of bemoaning certain things in my life. Okay, yeah, I docked here, which is where I need to be. I don't know why I ran up to this other port, because we can't do anything with it since we're not in a boat. What I need to do is now run back to the other port. We want to hop on that little stream there with our canoe, and I'll show you guys where we're trying to go. There we go. That location where the finger is should be Ice Cave. The game probably is going to call it something different, like Frosty Dungeon or something. I don't know. I shouldn't make fun of it. It's really not that big of a deal. I find it perplexing how much has changed. Oh my gosh, I don't know if this is the right direction. And I also don't understand why we're facing off against so many old enemies. But I'm hard-pressed to start using my mana, because I think we're going to need it when we actually get into this cave that I'm trying to take us to. We'll get there eventually. Anyway, finishing everything. This bank was awesome when I was trying to function as the executor of my father's estate, close out his account, trying to reconcile a whole bunch of things, working with the attorney to funnel stuff where it needed to go. This bank did not give me any trouble. In fact, they were incredibly supportive. One time I had an issue. Yeah, this is not the way I need to go. I need to go further back, I guess, to get in the stream, because I don't think I can do it here. Oh, Lord. If only the monsters would leave me alone, I wouldn't mind quite as much doing the backtracking thing, but I think we saw, even in our last episode, that there's a point where the encounters start to really get to you and you just desperately want to get through everything so you can get where you're trying to be. But it is what it is. So I've never had issues with this bank. I had one time during my undergrads, I was probably like 20 years old, I want to say. I had my bank account hacked. I'm guessing it was like at one of the gas stations. I drove around a lot for my undergrad. I was a triple major and I worked full time to put myself through school. And Andrew, who was then still just my boyfriend, we weren't married at the time, he was going to undergrad in a different state. So I was constantly driving across like 2 state lines to get to him so that we could, spend at least one weekend a month and together hanging out and doing whatever we needed to do. So I think my account got hacked through one of those card readers. Yes, Goblin Guards. Why even start stuff with me if you're just going to run away immediately after? I do not see the sense in that, but whatever, game. The thing that's obnoxious about these fights, though, is I'm not even getting gold and XP that I really need from them. So I need to... What the heck? Okay. Where do I need to go to get to this little stream? It looks like I should be able to access it. It looks like... I don't see... I guess it's right here, right? Okay, it is right here. I was looking at that map and thinking, how the heck do I get into this? But I guess I just needed to give it the good old college try before I threw my hands in the air like I did. All right, now I can finish my story as I bumble my way through the maze-like winding river here. So, oh god, this is not the way I need to go. Okay, you guys are probably like, no, let's wait on stories until you figure out how to get to this frosty cave or whatever they're going to call it. No, I think I've got it, friends. I think I've got it. Relax, no backseat drivers needed here. I'll eventually get us where we need to be. The bank was awesome. Anyways, the point of the story. At least the story so far. And one time my bank account was hacked, which obviously is pretty devastating, and I lost not a huge amount of money, but I lost a considerable chunk of cash. They took like $2,000, and when you're in your early 20s, still a student, paying for everything yourself, it was devastating for me, and my bank was amazing and gave me 100% coverage, and it was like 2 days later. It wasn't even this long process that took like a month for them to reinstate my funds. It was a matter, oh, Tyrone, you got a level. Let me give you a little bit of attention instead of, talking about this bank here for a second. 23 HP, some intelligence. Oh, that's it. Okay. Tyrone, no, we're not going to celebrate. You didn't get jack diddly from that. Why would I waste my time highlighting your small achievements when I'm talking about my big baller stuff over here? I guess whatever. Let's go ahead and drink some potions. We should be good. I don't anticipate us running out of resources incredibly quickly once we make it to this cave, but who knows? Even if we do, you guys know the drill. I won't make you watch me run back to town to sleep, heal, and restock. That would be ridiculous, and I'm not going to put you all through that. So, $2,000-ish. My bank was awesome, and it was like 2 days later. All of my money was back in the account, and they worked on fixing and I guess identifying who stole it and whatever. So I really liked this bank and trusted this bank. I've never had an issue against, I guess, my own better judgment, because I kind of am wary about utilizing larger corporate entities for certain things. But remember, you guys, this is my first home purchase, and I don't have any parents anymore, so it's not like I have the, oh Lord, I don't know how I feel about this music, but it's not like I have the benefit of someone to provide any level of, oh God, mummies and cockatrices. I don't know how I feel about this. I also don't know if the enemies are going to be incredibly susceptible to what I've got, but we're going to try it. I'm getting rid of these birds. They got to go. Let's just try Dia 1 and see if it bears any impact whatsoever on the mummies. Oh, goodness gracious, Tyrone. I'm not heavy-handed, I promise you guys. I swear I think the game is just hypersensitive when you are clicking on buttons. It's not me. It's not like I just leave my hand. Really? Now we're going to follow with the Dia? Please, don't let Tyrone go. Please kill the mummy. Okay. And that wasn't the worst thing. I think the worst thing is when you utilize a higher level spell that's supposed to be an AoE and it only impacts one enemy that's remaining on the map. That feels so flippin' bad. So let's pray we don't run into that again. But, okay, so I, against better judgment, went with this bank. But again, as I was noting, I don't really have that luxury of having a family to provide any type of counsel or guidance. I'm just kind of honestly winging my life and trying to make the best decisions that I can, and if I mess up, learning from that mistake and rectifying it, or at least not repeating it when a similar situation presents itself in the future. So I kind of was wary about going with a corporate bank, but I also had personally, you know, my anecdotal evidence was such that this bank was reliable and it had done right by me since I was a 15-year-old / 16-year-old child. So I went with them, and needless to say, it was hot mess express. It was terrible, friends. Absolutely terrible. My bank dropped the ball left, right, front, and center. I'm not even going to go into everything that they did wrong, but here's just 3 of the things that they did wrong. They pushed me out of my due diligence twice because they refused to do their job and schedule the appraisal. And for those of you who have purchased a home before, you know how serious that is for me to have fallen out of my due diligence range twice. I fell it the first time, and then my realtor and I submitted the request to the seller to extend my due diligence. And then we were outside of those parameters again because my bank was messing around. You know what? No, I'm going to be blunt. They were fucking around and completely screwed me over in that sense. Fortunately, the home I was looking to purchase was in a smaller town. And guys, I have a little bit of a pro tip for you, because right now buying a house, it's kind of hard. There are a lot of people looking to move to more rural communities to escape the cities, especially since everything with COVID. I think a lot of people are wanting a little bit more of a bigger slice of rural America, which you guys already know. I loved Wisconsin. If things had worked out a little bit differently for me, I would have stayed in Wisconsin. Not that I don't like this area that I'm in right now, but it's not what I really wanted, but I'm content enough to where obviously I'm happy to move forward with establishing a life here, at least for the next 10 to 20 years. You know, we'll see where life takes me. But nevertheless, so my bank messed up my due diligence. But what I was starting to say is just a pro tip for you guys, and what really worked to my favor is I was buying from someone who also is from small town rural America, so they were a little bit more understanding, because the seller actually could have made more money by throwing me under the bus and not working with me, because my bank is the one that messed up a lot of things. Hold on. Do I want to go? Let's just try this, I suppose, and see where it takes us. Let's just try. I don't really remember. You know what? Whatever. Let's just roll with it. We'll see where this takes us. And if I'm going in the wrong direction, we'll backtrack. It is what it is. So yeah, the seller, you know, she wasn't happy with me at all. And I think at the very end, she actually was ready to call it quitsies. And truthfully, I could have lost the house. I would say there were 4 points when it would have made sense and have been absolutely justified for her to be like, I'm not selling to you anymore. I can make more money by pulling out of this and selling to someone else, because the value of the home had gone up by the time we actually finished closing. We closed a month late. Again, all my bank's fault. I had all of my shit together. My ducks were in a row. I had a gangster realtor who was my advocate from start to finish. Everything was good on everyone else's end except for my bank. They were just dreadful. So yeah, anyway, they pushed me out of my due diligence twice. They messed up one of the documents that needed to go to the seller, so it had totally wrong information, and it had taken 2 weeks for that information to be processed anyway. So basically 2 weeks for processing something turned into 4 weeks. They also had messed up the appraisal. They forgot to schedule it for whatever reason. So again, something that should have taken 2 weeks to get back ended up taking 6 weeks to get back. It was just a nightmare. And then even on the date of closing, because I'm actually the one buying the house, Andrew, my husband, his name is not on any of it. That's kind of its own conversation and probably something I should make a vlog about. Oh Lord. Let me pass on these steps. Let's just see what's up here first before I mess around with that. I think that might be the way I need to go, but I'd rather explore this full floor before I commit to something totally new. These specters. Inspector gadgets over here. I don't know. I'll throw out the ice again. I don't know what these guys are weak to. Doesn't matter. Let's do a bolt too. I just want to get rid of them and not take damage and try to move along on my merry way. But anyway, everything with Andrew, you guys have kind of known for years, especially if you followed me. Andrew and I have been together since we were kids, and I think we both want very different things. I've wanted children and a family. A lot of you will vouch for me. I've been stating this for like 6 to 8 years that I really want a family. We're in our early 30s now. You know, I've been supporting us solo, working really intense jobs to provide for him and to make sure he could finish school, you know, get that fancy PhD, become a professor. And it just feels like, in spite of all of my efforts, he's not really circling back to any type of accommodation for what I'm looking for. I think, honestly, at the end of the day, Andrew's always going to be the adventurous type that wants to kind of be free and untethered, and he and I love each other very much, and I do think we're soulmates, and I think everything will be fine. But don't be surprised if Andrew and I do take a break from each other. I don't think we would divorce, but I think a separation might not be outside the realm of reality and possibilities, because you guys, I'm 32 now, and I've been saying I wanted kids since I was like 26. I think was a good year for me when, okay, I guess I do need to take those steps. I had a really great job. I was making good money. I'd been promoted twice. And I have to keep moving for Dark Wizards. What? Oh, no. Rohit, no! Oh, jeez. What on earth? Okay, they're like, we don't want to hear any of this garbage that you're saying. I don't even know what to do. You guys, what? I don't know what to say. What on earth? Okay. Well, let's do something about this, because this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a big problem. If they're throwing out, no, I don't think so. This could kill our entire team, and that is going to really piss me off. If I die here, woo! No, Melvin needs to stay alive. Oh my gosh. He has to stay alive. No! What is this? And I've not used... You guys. This is absolutely ridiculous, but also a part of life, right? I guess it is what it is. The only way... Yeah. Okay. Well, we're defeated. I guess that's fine. Fine enough. We're at a stopping point anyway, and I think we saw that life was rough getting here. So, you know, if we have won on-screen death, I guess that's okay. I haven't used a memo save because I did not think we were going to run into any situations like this. None of the enemies have been a problem at all. And then these Dark Wizards were like, yo, what up? We're here to ruin your life. Okay, I see you. Anyway, I guess to finish what I was saying, and then we'll go ahead and part ways, and you guys know the drill. I'll just bring us back to that room and to that stairwell on my own. At least now I kind of know what it is that we're going to encounter. So I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. My gosh, I was not prepared for that. I'm a little shook from that encounter. But to finish my statement, I think Andrew and I are more than likely going to need to take at least like a year break to really reassess, because he's just... I wouldn't say he's selfish, but I think he's still just so fixated on himself. And in spite of me spending... my entire adult life providing for us exclusively and working super hard ever since I finished graduate school. I've put him through 2 levels of graduate school, and we've moved across 3 different states since we've been married. Every couple of years when he's done with one program and moving on to a research adventure and then moving on to the next level of his education and academia, I'm ready to settle down and have kids. So the point of me saying that was this house is actually mine and it's in my name exclusively. Andrew didn't want any part of it because he's not sure if he wants to have kids with me and he wants to settle down yet. So that it's kind of its own. I'll probably make a vlog and update you guys once I'm in the house, because I know some of you have you've expressed interest in a house tour anyway. I've mentioned this already. It's not going to be fancy. The house needs a little bit of work, and I'm actually already in the process of trying to get a few things going. One of my really dear friends is going to be helping me out quite a bit, but it has 4 acres of land that's like all open, flat, usable. It's going to be great for expansion. It's 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, so whether Andrew or just me or someone else, it should be a good place for me to raise a family and be for the next 10 to 20 years. And I hope it's with Andrew. He is my best friend and my soulmate, but life is hard and it throws a lot of twists and turns your way, as evidenced by those dark wizards kind of throwing me for a loop there. But I guess you do the best you can with what life kind of presents to you. But we'll talk a little bit more about this in our upcoming episode number 28. As I already mentioned, I'm going to bring us back to that room of, I didn't even look at what this game called it. I've been so busy talking about nothing. But Ice Cave, I think is what it's called. It's what it used to be called. It might be like Cavern of, I don't know, crystals or frost or something like that. We'll look at that first thing when we come back together in episode 28. But until then, my friends, take care, be good, and I, your host Rabbit, will see you in just a moment in our upcoming episode of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy I via the lens of Final Fantasy Origins. See you guys in just a second.